This is move 8, and black is dead lost. But what's shocking is the number of players destroyed daily by the Ruy Lopez opening. Because of this one principle. Central control. This is what grandmasters are thinking about, while we're busy playing dog excrement like this, and the London system. E4 advances a pawn and opens diagonals for other pieces. But this is how the elites actually view the opening. Knight f3 controls these two squares and bishop b5 attacks black's knight. Yes, there is a knight here that's fighting for these squares. c3 prepares d4, which exerts control on these squares, and with this rook on e1. The ultimate form of the Ruy Lopez opening has been assumed. This is the setup you want to aim for. Don't bother trying to learn a dozen lines and variations because let's be honest, here at Mortal Chess, our collective IQ would double if a dog subscribed. Anyway, it's very rare that you actually get to this setup because your greedy opponents will fall for a pawn, surrender the center and lose way earlier than this. Here is a game that shows a strangely brutal punishing of black's greed. e4 e5 knight f3, knight c6 and bishop b5 is the Ruy Lopez opening. Knight f6 develops a piece and attacks our pawn, after which Castles invites black to capture this pawn, the second most popular move in this position. But does black know what he's doing? Let's find out. Rook e1 attacks the knight, takes control of the center and asks serious question about black's king safety. Knight shifts and attacks our bishop, a threat we ignore by playing knight takes e5, preparing all sorts of nasty discoveries. This is why black normally captures the knight, and here instead of capturing back, we play another tricky move. Knight c3. Knight takes bishop and we are down 2 pieces, but the following sequence of moves will blow your mind. Rook takes knight check. Bishop shields and look at white's central control. Whenever your pieces can freely occupy these squares, your opponent is in huge danger. Knight d5 ignores the material and focuses on the attack. After which, Castles seems like the safest move. It's not. Knight takes bishop check, king h8 and queen h5 comes with a disgusting hidden threat. Black tries to save his knight, but
Mrs. Caught! Sister Abigail!
The only checkmate with a beautiful name. Let me know down below if you found it. But how do you avoid humiliation when across you sits an opponent that understands the assignment? a6 tempts you to take the knight and win a pawn. But it's now black's turn to punish your greed. The queen occupies the center and one of these two is gonna drop. You have lost the bishop pair, the center, your pride, your self-esteem, your will to live, and God forbid, you may even lose some of your elo. Horrific. So after a6 bishop retreats, knight f6 castles and instead of going for these complications, black plays b5 and bishop e7 getting ready to castle. Rook e1 protects our central pawn but d6 does the same for black, while also threatening an unpleasant pin on the knight. h3 is necessary. After black castles, c3 prepares a d4 thrust at the center, and knight a5 makes way for something similar for black. Bishop c2, because you never want to lose the bishop pair, much less this bishop, which is needed for the disgusting sequence you will see in the next few moves. But for now, c5 and d4 bring the center to a standstill. The opening stage is complete. We have reached the ultimate form of the Ruy Lopez, and the opponent did not let us have our way with the center. What do we do now? We launch a caveman attack on black's king. A white knight landing on f5 is essential, and the only sophisticated part of this plan. The rest is raw brutality. Never be afraid to launch these pawns at your opponent's king because, let me let you in on a chess secret. Chess players below 2000 elo cannot defend to save their lives. So this Neanderthal attitude will win you more games than you deserve. Use it today, get yourself some elo, it's good for you, and it does wonders for your sex appeal. Tantalizing. And who better to learn from than Robert James Fischer himself, who in a very similar position against Benko, played knight h4 with very direct and clear intentions. But with knight b6 and c5, black also gets ready for his queenside onslaught. Takes and this is a deadly piece in black's territory. He must give up the bishop pair. Takes and after queen c7, Bobby Fischer goes all out on black's king. g4. h6 and h4 was the beginning of what proved to be a spine-chilling breach of the Geneva Convention. Because after c4 and bishop c2, let's take a step back and look at the malicious intent of white's pieces. Horrifying. If you think black's king is safely tucked away here, imagine a Jehovah's Witness with a search warrant. That is what we are about to witness, but let me not spoil the action. Let the man cook. And in this position, Fischer uncorked the most disgusting move ever played on a chessboard. Can you find it? Queen e8 check. Because after rook takes, bishop d5 check, and black has to give away all his pieces, one by one. I'm a huge Magnus fan, but Dios mío, what did I just witness? This will keep the London system away, and this will double our collective IQ. Choice is yours. Peace.